Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Kyle here. Um, this video for this week is it's kind of one of those things or one of those topics that I don't think a lot of people talk about. Growing up with disability, sometimes I always felt, like I didn't have anyone to lean on, even though my family was always there. Sometimes I just felt like I shouldn't, talk about it just because, I didn't want to, feel like a burden. Um, so that really, as I came to accept that and realize that I wasn't and I could reach out to people, I consciously yet subconsciously decided that I would become the person that people could lean on and that they could go to and talk to and so I knew they have someone to talk to and get through the tough stuff. Well, I've lately, that's kind of caught up with me. I felt, really overwhelmed. People want to come to me, and I love that. I love helping people. I think I just, didn't take the best care of myself um, to put myself in a good place. I think I finally, all of that taking care of other people caught up to me a little bit. I I just got in a real bad, I don't want to say real bad, but just kind of a negative space where I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I wasn't sad. Wasn't like, I wasn't hoping somebody would talk to me. I just didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to have to, deal with other people's drama because I had my own. And, I didn't want to deal with, anyone else's. Part of that too is because, when my friends call, I'm always going to pick it up. And I like to think, I want them to think that. I want them to know that I will pick the phone up. But sometimes when you get, 5, 6, 7 calls a day from multiple different people, and are talking to them and helping them deal with their problems, it can become overwhelming. I let myself, because I care so much, I take on that burden and that stress that they're also going through. I feel it with them. I go through it with them, and through the highs and the lows, and we get through it. And I think that eventually, is kind of detrimental to me. I, I needed it to stop. Um, and there was some other, personal issues that I don't want to talk about with, family, but we got through those and we're fine now. We're in a better place. But I was just in a negative space, angry, um, and just didn't want to deal. And then part of me felt bad. And I'm mostly out of it. I'm kind of slowly getting back to talking to people, but I've set rules for myself that, I won't talk beyond 10 o'clock on a weekday because, of work, and 11 o'clock on the weekends, just so I can have that time to where I'm not going to talk to anyone and just focus on myself, and, worry about myself because my needs are important. If I want to help other people, I have to help myself first. Um, so I'm just learning to take better care of myself with the meditation, reading on my Kindle, setting the rules for the phone that I won't answer unless it's like an absolute emergency. And, I expect people to let me know, hey, this is a real emergency. But I think my compassion, which is one of the things that I love about having a disability, can also have a downside. I mean, everyone should always try to be compassionate, but there's compassion and then there's just, you know, like it has to be controlled in the sense that like my compassion isn't going to harm me in a way, put me under mental stress. And it did for about a week. I'd say even more than a week because As you know, in previous video, I was sick, so then I was kind of mentally and physically drained, and then things just kept piling up, and, I just got in a place where I had to back away and only talk to, my family, kind of the bare essentials. That isn't to say that I didn't like my friends or don't like my friends. I just had to take a step back and deal with what I needed to deal with. And I did feel guilty that I had to sit and take that time away. And I'm easing back into that and setting these rules and, being more aware of self-care. But I think, self-care in general is important. Everyone needs to do it. But I think sometimes, especially with a my physical disability of cerebral palsy, it's it is physically draining. Every day is a little bit harder than, someone who is temporarily able-bodied. My body does twice the work, and I realized, being so physical and, doing all these things, I'm physically tired, and then taking on too many, um, you know, stressors or too many problems that, aren't my own, and then dealing with my own was just, a bad combination. Um, and I'm, coming to terms with I can't please everyone. I want to please everyone. I want to make everybody happy. But, I'm slowly starting to realize that I have to make myself happy in order to make everyone else happy. And people are just going to have to understand that. There's some friends that I still haven't even talked to them about this yet. But that's coming, and it's gotten better as the days, but hopefully soon everybody will know. But even then, still I think, are they gonna, when I do, reach to all my friends, and are they gonna be mad at me? But, that's kind of the inner battle. Are they gonna be mad, or are they gonna be understanding? My hope would be understanding, but, that's just something, if they can't accept it, then they'll just have to deal it with their own. I realize that I can't be everyone's quote unquote therapist, but I like it. I like it, but I have to be mindful of how much I let it impact me, because I feel deeply, I care deeply, and it does, I feel it with them, and I just need to be careful and kind of gauge how much I can handle, so I don't have to get in such a negative space, of just wanting to be alone. And not really just alone, because I wanted to hang out with my family and, my niece, and excuse me, and I still wanted to be around people. It was just like was to a point where it's like, oh, somebody's calling me, is it drama? And I just had to say like, I'd kind of see what they would say in a text, and most of the time, majority of the time, be like, and I wouldn't call people back, and I felt bad about it. But now, I've taken the time to, decompress and get back, to feeling like myself again. Still have a cough, so still kind of sick, but we're getting there. But now I feel like I'm in a much more positive place, and, I can get back to being my supportive self, knowing, I have to say enough is enough sometimes, and take these, rules that I've set for myself, reading a chapter a day. That it hasn't always been the most consistent, but, a good 80% so far. And just, setting the time limits on the phone. And just kind of being sure that I do things that I enjoy without feeling pressure, like, oh, I need to call someone, because that was kind of the thing. Like, it wasn't that I wanted to call people. If I just felt like I needed to, but I didn't want to, because the need kind of overtook the want. and desire. So stepped back, hopefully in, you know, sorry, in a better, well, I feel better, and I think disability, that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, is because disability can be physically taxing, but also mentally taxing, and self-care is extremely important, just for overall well-being and yourself and those around you. And now that I'm kind of on the other side of it, I just thought it was going to be, or it would be a good idea to talk about it, just in case anyone else is kind of struggling in that way, because everyone wants to help, but you got to help yourself. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment so I know that people are enjoying these videos. Thanks.